All right, guys. Listen, we are back. It's Coach UV, and this is the Unique Trading Group. I really appreciate you clicking this video. Whatever decided to make you click, I hope it hones in on you and it keeps you there, because I have a very, very informational, juicy video for you guys tonight. First and foremost, I want to apologize for not dropping videos over the weekend. Been kind of busy handling some business, some things that I need to get in order, and sometimes you got to take that weekend to build your dream, and you know how that goes, right? And so what I want to do today is I want to give you some guidance on SPY and the market as a whole. We can talk about NVDA and Tesla and Bitcoin, all right? And of course, my baby, right, SPY. These are the four things we're going to talk about today in the episode of Monday Madness. Monday Madness, episode 4. Can you believe that we're here? Can you believe that we're here? Yes, we are here, and I'm very excited. As you can see right in front of me, this is the Discord. I want to start this one off a little different today, all right? It's about mindset and psychology for anybody listening. I am Coach UV, all right? And this is the Unique Trading Group, where strategy meets mindset. Again, where strategy meets mindset and discipline turns into income, all right? And that's a process. It's a mantra, right? Along with what you see in front of you, the Trader's Creed, all right? You need to know what kind of environment that we're in order for this to resonate and work for you. And this Trader's Creed right in front of you is a mantra, right? And where your headspace should be at, all right? And as I show you visually on charts, to be able to correlate the message with the charts, this is a very powerful thing. So we're going to read this together before we hit to any charts, okay? I've already given out some guidance this morning in the chat, in my Discord, and also in the Webull community, all right? I've already traded Tesla and SPY. I am in cash position, except for one long out of the money call on SPY, which is a YOLO. I'm using minimal cash. I've locked in profits and didn't give back any of my gains from last week, all right? And this is the way to trade, or at least one way to trade, all right? Because trading is very unique. Okay, so we're going to read this Trader's Creed, all right? Starting from the top. You ready? Let's go. I am a consistent winner because I objectively identify my edges. I predefine the risk of every trade. I completely accept the risk, or I am willing to let go of the trade. I act on my edges without reservation or hesitation. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. I continually monitor my susceptibility for making errors, and therefore I understand these absolute necessities and principles of consistent success. All right, I never violate them. This is the Trader's Creed. One of my favorites, all right? If I had to pick two out of all of these, I would say it'll be I objectively identify my edges, right? And I also like I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. That's golden. As I'm in profit, I move up my stop to lock in my gains. I can show you that visually. But if you can imagine getting into a trade, clicking a button on your computer or your phone, you spend $100, you're immediately up $105, mean you made an extra $5. So what you put in now looks like 105 instead of 100. That means you made $5. Simple elementary math, right? Well, as you're in profit, you take a horizontal elementary line and you move it up. You move it up, and then you lock in $3 of that $5, right? You're willing to say, hey, if I lose that $2 extra, okay, but at least I made $3. All right. And that's what that's really about. The other things just come to you when you understand that you have to have a mindset of a consistent winner. You have to predefine your risk for every trade, because trading is about risk to reward. All right. Risk to reward is how you stay into the game. Okay. All right. Check out that video to the right if you want to check out an informative video about the secret to being a consistent trader. Right. The video should pop up in a couple of seconds to your right. All right. Now, let's get to the charts, all right? SPY, what do we have here in front of us? Okay. All right, first of all, I want to tell you, right? These are my notes. I'm going to tell you. Now, I have a bunch of things on my chart. I'm going to take these off. I'm going to clear them for you guys, all right? I know what I'm looking at, okay? Now, yesterday's close, all right? Friday's close. Friday's close was 550.64, all right? We are currently above that, all right? 550.64. So 550.64 was the previous close on SPY. Anytime we are above previous closes, it's a little bit of bullish momentum, as you can see right here as price moves up. All right, this is live, all right, at 10:44 a.m. of this recording today for the Monday Madness episode. All right, it's 4:28. All right, now previous close 550.64. All right, we also have today's open. Today's open was 550.31. All right, we are above that now. If we stay above it, we'll have some bullish pressure. Anytime we get below 550.31, we're going to fall back down. All right, and that is today's open. All right, so what you want to do is notice these two double bottoms. All right, so you have a demand, all right, a floor, you know, like a trampoline where you bounce off at, because price, it fell and bounced, right? Let's keep it simple. All right, it bounced again here. All right, why do I call it a double bottom? Because it bounced once and twice, double, two, right? Okay, so what you want to do is, and we are on a 1 minute time frame, so be aware. All right, I'm just showing you guys price action and market structure, so don't be alarmed. The 1 minute time frame is a faster time frame, and you can't lose money if you don't know what you're doing. And for those who are listening and are beginners, don't worry, I got you covered. What is a 1 minute time frame? Right? What does that mean? All right, well, if you look right here, you see that 1 minute. If I click this arrow, you see different variations of times: 45, 30, 15, 1 hour. All right, you even got weekly, daily, monthly, yearly. All right, and so on and so on. All right, right now we're on a 1 minute time frame. These are called time frames. Right now I'm on the 1 minute. All right, so each of these candlesticks, right? Each of these candlesticks, the red and the green, each one of them represents 1 minute of price action. So for 1 minute, it has a open, a high, a close, and a low. All right, a open, a high, close, and a low. And I'll do a video on candlesticks. Okay, if you want me to do that, leave me a comment below or hit the like button if you're enjoying this video so far. Right, this is Monday Madness, Monday's Madness episode 4. All right, now let's get back to the lecture. All right. What I want to do right now, this is live, all right, Monday Madness. We're going to go from live commentary from current to guidance, you know, for the following days and weeks. All right, so now that I see what I see here, okay, I want to see what price can do inside of this channel. This is called a parallel channel. All right, right now we also have a W-shaped forming. I talked about this in one of my previous videos. Check out Halftime Show and my other Monday Madness videos, okay? We're either going to stop here, fall back to retest this parallel channel, or fall back to retest these lows. All right, a decision point. Are we going to go back and bounce again? Something to think about. If we fall here, or break below. If we break below, this is a breakdown trade, a high probability trade to create a measured move, the same as this one. The same way this pole and this measured move fell down, you'll get the repeat here. But if not, you get a break above this line, right? This is a neckline. You get a break above here, okay? All right. Bear with me as I navigate this screen. Get a break above here. Make that a green line for up, go to the upside. And we can retest these highs. Pay attention to this cursor right here. These are the scenarios, okay? Let's keep it simple. Break above here. Retest these highs. All right. Fail here. Retest the 21 EMA and or our parallel channel trend line. If we fail the trend line, we fall back to these lows to the yellow line. Okay, these are your scenarios. All right, on a 1 minute time frame. You could do this on a 3 minute time frame. Here, I'll switch it so you can see 3 minute time frame. All right, same setup, same colors, same area. You could do it on a 15 minute. How fast do you want to make money? Do you have patience to wait for 15-minute candle to close? These are things to think about. And that's what we have right now, okay? And so what I want to say to you to finish off everything, what I want to say is that we are right now at the cusp of a very, very important moment, because we have earnings coming up this week. This is the month for earnings release for different companies, and it affects price, right? They want to know how much these companies have made. We also have Trump tweets about tariff, all right? All right, you know how these can affect the market if you've been watching. He tweets something about inflation or about prices or tariffs on different countries, and the price reacts. All right, you also have to worry about the economic data that's being released, the economic data on Forex Factory. Now, this guide, this website, and is a guide for traders. All right, you know how you you get on Facebook or Instagram and you scroll on Facebook and Instagram and you see the things you like, some things you don't care about, some things you do care about, but it ultimately gives you information. You're getting up there to be entertained, to get information, to see what's happening. Well, Forex Factory is just like that, but in a trading world. The trading world. I come up here at Forex Factory and I check the data that's been released. This information, all right, it's all types of information. You don't have to know all this information or what these mean, right? You don't have to know what they mean. I'm just letting you guys know, whether you're a beginner or intermediate, that this information comes out and it affects price. It affects the SPY and the market as a whole. And so I prepare myself by looking at the day. Like today, all right, April 28th is a Monday. That's what this day it is. So it's telling me what's happening today. All right. Red folders, orange, gray, and/or orange. Yellow. I'm sorry. And the red folders, these are what I call hot red folder moments, right? They're like catalysts for price. When these red folders show up, that means that the data or whatever the information that's been released is going to make the market volatile, meaning it's going to move up and down in big swings a lot, maybe even aggressively. Okay. And so that's what that means. And this data that comes out, majority of it is about recession, inflation talk, interest rates, jobless claims, job numbers, all right, CPI and core PI. They want to know the prices and where we are as an economy. And that's what that means. And today we don't have a lot of major news, but we do have some news coming up later on in the week. And that's why SPY is in a choppy moment, in a price action where people are actually waiting to see what happens. And this is what you get. All right. This is the sentiment. That's why price is hovering around the opening price of today, or the closing price from last week, or the low price, which is 547. These price can go between all these numbers. All right. Price can even go here. All right. Just to satisfy the fact that we're not going to do much because we're waiting on certain data. But if you understand that, then you can make money. And as I'm talking, you see how price rejects. It could go here, right? I took off those boxes and all my lines, but the same thing could have happened. All right. Remember that I told you, right? We could fall below the 21, retest our parallel channel, or retest the bottom. I just took it off. The same thing is there. The same thing is here. Okay. And you wait for these things. All right. If you're not in a trade and you don't want to chase, you wait for good setups. That's what I'm giving you guys. Okay. That's what I'm giving you guys. So I want to tell you, SPY over 550 and 551 is super bullish. All right. Remember I said that. 550 and 551 super bullish. If we can hold above that for the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, Wednesday will be a decision day for some explosive moves up until Thursday and Friday. All right. And I will be securing profits. 550 and 551 is the daily high. It is the daily high. And if it's broke, is a major level. So let's go to the daily before we move on to Tesla, NVDA, and Bitcoin. And we're going to end this video. Appreciate you guys watching thus far. Right now on the daily, we are above the 21. Right now we are above the closing price of last week. And right now we are slightly below today's open. So the market closes at 4 o'clock today. It's only 10:52. So been about 2 hours in the market. I will be recapping in the Discord and on my post on YouTube to inform you guys on some thoughts and commentary later on today. This is a pre-recorded video. I wanted you guys to have it. Wanted to be prepared. This is Monday's Madness. Monday's Madness episode 4. All right. And I appreciate you guys watching us far. Right now we have some momentum to the upside and break of highs on the SPY. We have a double bottom. So we do have pressure to the upside above 551, 550 for the next 2 days. If we can close above it today, we will see momentum towards the upside. But if we can't, look for 548. All right. 548. All right. If that breaks, and we close below these numbers I gave you, we can see some bearish pressure and stay between these ranges of 551 and 545. All right, these are the ranges for now. I also want you to know that these are daily profit levels of gaps to the upside at 554. So if we can stay above 551, all right, convincingly with volume, then we can reach these gaps to the upside. Right, there are gaps to the upside that can be filled, and at 553, 554, that's when profits can be took. all right? Profits can and will be took, all right? And then people can leave some runners, all right? And we are almost at these metrics, but right now we are choppy. And that's what I have for you today. I do see the market retesting these highs, but it has to be on good earnings and it has to be on good data. And you have to stay patient and understand these cycle and these setups. And I'm giving it to you to understand these metrics and these numbers that I'm giving you, so that you can be informed on whether to take the market to the upside or the downside. If it's inside of a range, you stay put and sit on your hands. You don't do anything. You wait for your setup. All right. Now let's get to NVDA. NVDA right now is downtrending right now. We are downtrending on a daily time frame until we can break above this parallel channel. Price around 118. We will continue to see these prices stay here. All right, 118 and 121 are my targets for NVIDIA for me to get inside of calls. Right now we are below that, making lower highs. All right, lower highs and lower lows is bearish structure. All right, real quickly, this is a downtrend. This is for beginners who are watching. This is a downtrend. All right, this is a uptrend. Okay, and you want to understand that these are simple patterns that you can understand in your beginner journey in trading, to understand that what this means. Okay, because it's going to help you as you're looking at videos like mine for analysis. You need to understand these simple things and what they are. All right, so real quickly, this is a downtrend and this is an uptrend. All right, this downtrend resembles this. Right, check my cursor out. All right, it consists of lower highs. Simple. Why? Because this is a point in price. It dropped, bounced, came back, but it failed to come back to here. So it's a lower high than this one. Simple. And you see these recurring. Lower highs, and lower lows. Lower points of price. All right, downtrending. And this is an uptrend because you have higher sequences of highs. Higher sequences of highs and higher sequences of lows. There you go. All right, you can always rewind this video and look at it again if you need to go over that, if it's too complicated for you. And right now, NVIDIA, for my chip lovers, chips and dip. Right, that was my original video that I couldn't get out to you with chips and dip. We might make that the addition for Monday's Madness today, right? Chips and dip. And we have dips. All right, dips in the market, dips on SPY, they're being bought up, and we have dips in the market on different stocks. NVIDIA, Tesla. All right, NVIDIA is a microchip company. See what I did there? Dips, chips and dip. All right, it's a microchip company and they sell AI microchips. Okay, so that's why I say micro chips and dip. Forgive me. And so right now we have downside pressure. We're still making these lower highs, as I tell you about the downtrend, and we are downtrending until we break above. All right, and claim some of these highs. That's what we have so far on NVIDIA. All right, let's get to Tesla. All right, Tesla is, and I had some metrics up here already. We can move some, but I did have Tesla bearish today. As you can see, puts here, thin zone below. That number was at 280. So if 280 broke, I wanted to take puts to the downside for Tesla to ride it back to 266. Almost a 20-point move. You guys can participate in this trade. If I release this video now, or if I don't and you see it later, you can see the accuracy. But I do have Tesla falling. If we can fall below, this is getting real ugly on Tesla right now. All right, I took the calls up here last week and I traded a little bit today to 293. We've already fell from 293 to 281. That's a lot of money. All right, Tesla's a good stock to trade if you can afford it, and use my 3-step strategy, right? My 3-system strategy, precision trading. All right, to get to the next level. If you want to check out a great community and get access to this information, all right, to be able to predict and react the way that we do at an elite level, check out the link below the description and join a thriving community with the Discord that I have available for you. And if you love to read, those who love to read, I also have a book that I wrote for the trading community. It's tailored around trading options, but it still has mindset and strategy and things that can really help you on your journey. It's like a trading Bible. It's called The Power of Patience. PAY. The Power of Patience. Mastering emotions and trading while turning discipline into income. All right. So Tesla right now is having a hard time getting past these highs. All right. We got to get some profit taken. All right. There could be some fear in the market for certain things. All right. It's a very volatile stock. So that's what I have on that. We can't get anything above 300. And we're going to stay below. Anything above 300, I have a price target of about 313, 316, around that area, 320. All right, that's to the upside, but to the downside, it's looking really ugly for Tesla. 380. I want to take puts to 362, 367. Yep, 362 and 367 on my first two targets. All right, enough of that. Let's get to Bitcoin. Last but not least, I know what you came here for. All right, Bitcoin. Very interesting on Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin to flow inside of this volume node here, around 98,000. 98,000. If we reject any more below, let's say 93,661. If we get below 93,661, that's going to be a flush to the downside to be quickly, sharply come down here to retest some of these lows. All right, and that volume point of control is at 93,661, and so right there is where you want to watch for demand. I'm going to squeeze these charts out a little bit more so you guys can see. I'm going to be ending this video pretty soon. All right, there's a W shape and also a triple bottom. All right, also a triple bottom. And we are on a 1 hour time frame. We are above, all right, the previous close, all right, from last week. All right, we are inside of a range. We are making higher lows. All right, we haven't quite made a higher high. All right, but this is going to be about patience here on Tesla. That's what it's going to be about. I'm sorry, Bitcoin. Sorry, it's going to be about patience on Bitcoin. So a lot of people looking at Bitcoin and XRP. All right, and I do have Bitcoin going up, all right, towards 98,000 to 100,000. All right, I have that testing that. All right, remember I said that. All right, I have that testing that. Okay, let's check out the weekly real quick on Bitcoin. I'm gonna wrap things up here. All right, this is episode 4 of Monday Madness. Episode 4 of Monday's Madness. All right. Okay. Yes, we are above the 21. All right, we have higher lows. We don't have higher highs. All right, we are right in between sandwich zone right now. Okay, and we are trying to retest this 98,000 level up here. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to retest this 98,000 level. All right, if we can close this week. All right, if we can close this week above 95,000. All right, write this number down. If we can close above 95,652 on Bitcoin, 95,652 on Bitcoin. If we can close above that this week, now I'm thinking the future, this week, Friday, right? I want to go and I want to purchase some Bitcoin and I want to ride it all the way to maybe 98, 97. And I'm really long term on Bitcoin, right? And XRP, where I average in and I don't use it as income, right? But sometimes I like to use certain accounts to build up some extra funds, right? If I want to, if I can put enough money in and I can see some upside potential, I like to make some extra income from it as well, all right? So you can do two of those things. Doesn't really matter, whatever your preference is. But 95,652, if it can close the end of the week, Friday, or any momentum above maybe 2 or 3 times, I want to be bullish on Bitcoin. Other than that, I am bearish below my numbers I gave you before. All right, I appreciate you guys watching, and if you found any value in this video, in this episode of Monday Madness today, then hit that like button again, hit that bell notification so you can be aware of when I drop valuable videos. And if you want to join the Thriver community or check out one of the best books for trading, then you check out those links below and join the Thriving community. We would love to have you. And remember, if there's any questions you have, give me some feedback in the comments, all right? Engage with me. I talk back, all right? And until the next time, guys, peace.